Students, a very good morning to all of you and welcome back to the class. Students, when I gave an introduction to the poem from Ruminations by K.K.N. Daruwala, I explained you that in this poem he presents his impressions about death and gives expressions to his thoughts that arise in his mind about the insignificant existence of human beings on this earth. While observing the cruel action of destiny and witnessing the ordeal that a human being faces, poet says that death is a reality, but at the same time he insists on this, that a man or a human being emerges every time successfully due to his steadfast nature, his courageous nature. Let us come to the textual part of the poem, and today I will do the textual analysis of the poem from Ruminations by K.K.N. Daruwala. So let us come to the text. I can smell violence in the air like the lash of coming rain, mass hatreds drifting grey across the moon. It hovers brooding, poised like a cobra, as I go prodding rat holes and sounding caverns, looking for a fang that darts, a hood that sways, and eyes that squirt a reptile hate. So, in the first stanza of the poem from Ruminations, Daruwala describes the nature of thoughts that are coming up to his mind, thoughts that are surging up in his mind. He says that he can identify the violence in the atmosphere. And here, students, Daruwala associates violence with the rain that brings forth unforeseen inconveniences. The serenity and beauty of the moon are soon removed as the dark clouds gather around it. The clouds are like huge forms of hatred. The wind blows and the mind acquires a brooding habit. Here, Daruwala feels cynicism and willingness to offer the danger and adversities of life. He finds hatred in its full fury. It is poised like a cobra. His mind tries to adopt a willing attitude to accept self-destruction. Willingly he seeks a poisonous fang that pierces into the body, capable of injecting venom. He searches for a hood that sways like the hood of a cobra. He searches for eyes that exude hatred. The feeling of hatred makes him too much pessimistic. The poet, in an attempt to give expression to his feelings of hatred, imagines all kinds of possible dangers and destructions. Now, students, let us come over to next stanza. And here, Daruwala says, I watch my wounds but they don't turn green. Crossbones, I look for you. Death, I am looking for the bald bone head of yours. But it is in flesh and flesh tissue that my destiny lies, and slowly corruption takes a hold. Over from mortuary comes the cop drift. Death is so soft, but in 10 days in a well, and it turns pulpy. So in this stanza, Daruwala gives expression of his impressions about death. He is addressing death. And what does he say? He says that he has been carefully observing his wounds, but they do not change their color. He says that I am looking for that bald bone head of yours. He is searching for the sign of death, which is represented by crossbones. He also searches for the bald skull that represents death. But it is in flesh and flesh tissue that my destiny lies, and slowly corruption takes a hold. But Daruvala realizes very well. He says that he is conscious about the truth that life exists in human body made of flesh, flesh and blood. This body is subjected to cruelty of destiny. And he further says, fate controls human life that finds its manifestation in flesh form. His attention shifts toward the mortuary where dead bodies are kept together. He writes, over from mortuary comes the corpse drift. Death is so soft, put it in 10 days in a well and it turns pulpy. He says, dead bodies that are there in the mortuary, when one takes out them or when one moves them from one place to another, here one can see the slow process of the death, the effects that are caused by death. So if a body remains submerged in a well, it becomes pulpy. The death transforms a human body to something which has no use at all. The flesh is liable to undergo decay and destruction. This realization that destiny controls his life, the body which is made up of flesh, makes the poet sad. As soon as death takes over the human body, it is transformed into a useless thing. Now let us come to next stanza. In this stanza, the poet describes the scene that he has seen various times at a room or a building to which dead bodies are taken to be kept until burial or cremation. And it happens in our day-to-day life as well. When a death occurs at neighborhood or in our vicinity, usually you must have seen, students, what does happen at that time. He writes, rose water, incense sticks, flowers, the relatives have done their bit. The drift as it comes to us now is aroma, stench, nausea, jostling each other. In the morgue veranda, another queue up, her nose sliced off, her lung punctured. It is a 3-word story, infidelity, irate, husband. So in this stanza, the poet describes what is done to the body when it is there before relatives. Usually, what do the relatives do? They go near the body, and this death, that is a reality of this earth, a reality of this life. But these relatives, what do? They are trying to make the death normal, to make it a normal experience, a usual happening in the world. The decaying flesh, it spreads a foul smell. In order to ward off the foul smell, they are lighting incense sticks, sprinkling rose water around the dead body, and scattering flowers on it. After doing all this, they feel satisfied of having done their duty. But the smell, it keeps spreading. It's a admixture of fragrance, foul smell, and nauseating stench. Each of such smell is trying to dominate over each other. In the morgue veranda, another queues up, her nose sliced off, her lung punctured. It is a 3-word story, identify, irate, husband. The poet finds some other scene outside the veranda of the mortuary. He finds the dead body of a woman murdered by her husband because of her faithlessness. The angry husband has punished his wife with death. Her nose has been cut. Her lung is now punctured. So, here the poet delineates the scene he has seen at a room or a building to which dead bodies are taken to be kept until the burial or cremation. Now let us move to next stanza. Man is so pliant, adaptable. Bury him and he is steadfast as the earth. Burn him and he will ride the flames. Throw him to the birds and he will surrender flesh like an ascetic. So in this stanza, after describing the power of death, what havoc death can cause to a human mind, body, and spirit, he says, in this stanza, he delineates, he describes, he celebrates the bravery that lies in the heart and mind of a human being, the resilience that is there in human mind. Due to this resilience, due to this bravery, what happens? The poet says, man is so pliant, adaptable. Human being, they are adaptable. He has the ability to adapt himself to the changed surrounding. Bury him and he is steadfast as the earth. If he is burned, he undergoes all the difficulties and remain firm and steadfast as the earth. Burn him and he will ride the flames. Throw him to the birds and he will surrender flesh like an ascetic. If he is burnt, he will establish superiority over the fire. His spirit is not defeated and his courage is not lost. If he is thrown to the birds, he will offer his flesh as food to the birds, just as an ascetic who gives no importance to his body. In this stanza, students, Daruvala tries to emphasize on this point that man has tremendous capacity to endure dangers and face adversities of life. In the next stanza, Daruvala says, rain comes clambering down a blind sheet of water once the blur lifts. Colors deepen, the hedge smiles, the leaf loses its coat of dust. The scum spills over from the pool. I look around for a cleansed feeling, the kind you experience walking in a temple after a river bath. I cannot find it. I have misplaced it somewhere and in the caverns of my past. In the stanza, he gives expression to the impressions he has gathered in his mind after seeing life and death from close quarters. So, he says that he finds the approaching rain as a blind sheet of water. He listens to the sound associated with the rain. He is not able to see anything clearly, but soon the blurred images become clear and he is able to enjoy the fresh green appearance of the hedge. The dust that gathered over the leaf is washed off by the rain. The scum on the surface of water in the pool is also vanished. I look around for a cleansed feeling, the kind you experience walking in a temple after a river bath. I cannot find it. I have misplaced it somewhere in the caverns of my past. So, he says that He is looking around for a cleansed feeling similar to the feeling that one experiences while walking in a temple after river bath, but he is not able to find it. He soon remembers that perhaps he has misplaced it somewhere in the caverns of his past. The sudden realization does not help him anyway. He yearns to have that cleansed feeling because he finds only the shocking realities around him which erase the aesthetic sense from his mind. There is also a feeling of guilt in his mind because he has misplaced the cleansed feeling. Even though the rain removes the dust from the leaves and brings about a temporary clarity, the awareness about the shocking realities of life diminishes his enthusiasm. So, students, in this poem, Daruwala depicts the callousness of death. Man is not able to preserve his handsome body and appearance. Death brings about the total destruction to the body of human beings. It loses its charm, which it had when the life sustains its function and activities. So, by the end of the poem, a sense of fatalism overshadows the temporary enthusiasm the poet feels when he thinks about the courage of man to face adversities of life. The poet does not make any remark on the acceptability of death. He reveals the realities associated with the death. So, students, here the textual analysis of the poem from Ruminations by K.K. Daruwala comes to an end. Thank you.